Well, thank you for tuning back here to the Campus Weather Services live broadcast team. We are again throughout the night here looking at live severe weather coverage in Walker Studios, and we have a new tornado warning that is issued right now. We're going to be throwing it actually right now to Andy Moffett, who's in the studio, is going to be showing you that storm. Andy?
Yes, one thing I want to clarify with that Indiana storm is it was heading towards Bloomington, and that's actually where Indiana University is. So if you know anyone that goes to Indiana University, make sure that they are aware of this storm, as that is something you really don't want to mess with, as that is a newly tornado-warned storm with a confirmed tornado on the ground. So make sure that anyone you know in that area is safe.
That's right, and again, with these storms, you make sure that if there is a tornado on the ground, you find the lowest part of your home or building in a sheltered location, whether not near any windows, typically between walls where you feel safe enough. And if you're outside, make sure you find the lowest lying area, because these storms are very strong.
Make sure also, if you are outside, to get off of roadways, find an interior shelter. One thing that was just talked about in one of my classes today, make sure you don't go under an overpass, as it may seem like it would be a safe place to go, but that's actually one of the most dangerous places to go, as air can get funneled under those overpasses. Also, mobile homes, very dangerous in the case of tornadoes, so make sure you find an interior room, especially if possible underground, as that's the safest place to be when there is a tornado.
That's right, especially with, like you mentioned, with these underpasses, you have a wind that goes right through them, and it almost acts like a vacuum, and you can get sucked out basically by these tornadoes, especially even if you're in a car. If you're in a car, you're just basically in a big metal box, and you're going to be swung around in a tornado, and it's just not a very safe situation for anyone who's out there right now.
Yes, definitely. So one thing we're going to take a look at is social media. So we're going to throw it up to our social media desk upstairs on the 6th floor of Walker. So JP and Anthony, can you guys hear us? I want to make you aware that here, closer to home in Pennsylvania, the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center have actually dropped quite a few counties from the severe thunderstorm watch. So I'm going to pull up in just a moment the current watch area. So let me pull that up on my screen share. So hopefully you guys.
All right, Brian, well, thank you for turning that back here. And again, like he's mentioning, these storms are starting to get very severe, especially across places of northern Texas through southern Nebraska. But of course, we'll keep you posted throughout the night here as we're broadcasting live here from Walker Building.
Absolutely. We've seen several tornado warnings over the last couple hours, a few in Kansas, as well as a few in Oklahoma, as well as one in Indiana. So we're actually going to zoom in a little bit closer on that Indiana storm, as there is a tornado warning on that.
Right.
You guys are seeing my screen share, but just southern counties of Pennsylvania, so areas including Johnstown, Altoona, Gettysburg, Harrisburg, York, and Lancaster are all still in the severe thunderstorm watch, and that's for those cells that are in parts of West Virginia and are moving northeast. But that's about all that we're expecting here still in Pennsylvania. The severe thunderstorm watch that was issued earlier, that was supposed to go until 9 p.m., has expired for most of the counties except for south central Pennsylvania.
All right, well, thank you for tuning back here. It's the Campus Weather Services live broadcast of the severe storms out in the plains and here in Pennsylvania. We have been covering these severe storms that have been firing all across the mid-plains in the United States for the most of the evening. However, it does seem like we haven't had any sort of tornado warnings, not many in the area, but we have had numerous severe thunderstorm warnings in the area, and they have been severe, and they have been dropping tremendous amounts of rain, damaging wind, and hail from many places. We have been covering that throughout the evening.
Just to clarify, those severe thunderstorm warnings have mostly been in the plains. We did have a few earlier here in Pennsylvania, but at least here in Pennsylvania it's been relatively clear, and we're going to throw it over to our forecaster, Brian Mastro, who has the latest on the radar. Brian.
Thank you, Brian, for that another update on the storms. And like Brian was saying, there's just severe storms out over Texas through Oklahoma and into Kansas and Nebraska, and they will be continuing to fire throughout the night. Unfortunately, there aren't any, or fortunately, there are no tornado warnings at this time. There are a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings out there, which does make things pretty severe out there. Again, these storms are dangerous nonetheless, despite the fact there are no tornadoes, so do not take this with a grain of salt. These storms will be continuing to fire throughout the night. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today on today's live broadcast.
Yeah, we will stick around here in the studio. If anything does begin a fire, we will make sure to come back on the air to keep you with the best information as possible. Again, make sure you stay in tune with us on Twitter at PSU Weather, also Campus Weather Service on Facebook. We always have the latest information, but that's going to do it for this coverage tonight. For all of us here in Walker Building, Andy Moffett, Brian Mastro, as well as JP and Anthony up at the social media desk. I know for both Mike and I, this has been a really great evening doing this broadcast, and make sure to do this again in the future. Have a safe evening.